his voice cold and dangerous. Since you delivered it, you can deal with the consequences. My cries for help were muffled as the room was filled with heated breaths. I struggled fiercely, using every ounce of strength I had, but it was futile. Whatever drug Kathy had found worked too well. Chester didn't stop until morning. When he finally fell asleep, I endured the pain coursing through my body, quietly untying myself and slipping back into my clothes. Chester was infamous for his ruthless and vengeful nature. I wasn't foolish enough to stick around like Kathy would. After carefully erasing any trace of my presence in the room, I made my escape. Before leaving, I glanced toward the room where Kathy was dragged into. The door was left ajar, revealing a glimpse inside. Clothes from the 5 bodyguards were scattered across the floor. Kathy lay unconscious on the bed, completely out cold. I tried not to make a sound, and quietly scrambled from that place away. When I got home, my parents rushed up to me eagerly. Not seeing Kathy with me, their faces immediately darkened. "Sarah, where's your sister? Why are you back alone?" Remembering how, in my previous life, this family had blamed me for ruining Kathy's opportunity, and didn't even bother to claim my body after my death, I no longer cared to be polite. Maybe she overdid it with the drugs. "Mr. Miles is probably still occupied with her," I said flatly. My mother's scowl instantly melted into a delighted smile. I knew it. Kathy is someone who can make things happen, unlike certain people. Useless and nothing, but a money drain after 20 years of raising them. My father didn't even spare me a glance, immediately urging my mother to start cooking a nourishing soup. Make sure it's ready when Kathy gets back. If she drinks it, she'll be able to have a son for Mr. Miles. Too tired to argue, I slumped onto the couch to rest. Just as the soup began simmering, Kathy walked into our house. She was limping, her neck covered in bruises and marks. It was obvious she had no idea who she'd actually spent the night with. The moment Kathy saw me, she wasted no time berating me in front of our parents. She accused me of failing to stand guard for her, not helping her clean up the mess, and even refusing to buy her the drugs she needed for her plan. My mother's face darkened immediately. Without hesitation, she slapped me across the face, her voice rising with fury. "I knew you were useless. Worthless trash. Why did I even bother raising a money leech like you? Your sister finally got her chance, and not only did you refuse to help, but you left her behind to fend for herself? Money was falling from the sky, and you couldn't even pick it up. You're doomed to be a penniless worker your whole life." I held my stinging cheek, laughing bitterly at her shameless words. At least I make my money through honest work. Unlike some people, I'd never stoop to selling my body. My father's face twisted with rage. He grabbed the ashtray from the coffee table and hurled it at my head. Blood instantly soaked my clothes, but he didn't so much as blink. Instead, he continued to hurl insults at me. "All you ever talk about is working, working. Do you think your pitiful wages will be enough to give me and your mother any comfort before we're dead and gone? You're a complete disgrace. And now you have the nerve to insult your sister? Look at yourself. What kind of trash do you think you are? You're good for nothing. If I'd known you'd turn out like this, I would have sold you off back then and saved myself the trouble. Marrying you off to some poor nobody for a few thousand in bride price? Do you think I run a charity?" I pressed a wad of tissues against the wound on my forehead, but no matter how hard I tried, the bleeding wouldn't stop. Disappointment overwhelmed me, and I couldn't hold back my retort. "I'm your daughter, not a piece of pork in a butcher shop for people to pick and choose. If you're so eager to sell your daughter's body,